Am I the asshole? For thinking sexual preference is okay? I am currently in a heated argument with my girlfriend on whether sexual preference is okay or not. I don't know whether I am being a belligerent asshole or not. This started when my GF said that yellow fever, only dating Asian women, is wrong. To which I agreed that fetishizing someone based on race is not good. However, having a preference on physical appearance is probably the case for most people. I argued that I am not attracted to massively obese women, not because I think they are bad people but because I don't want to have sex with them. My girlfriend thinks I have been socialized to think that fat equals bad and thin equals good, because in years gone by being obese was a sign of wealth. She thinks I am an asshole for not questioning why I dislike someone based on traits they potentially can't control. I get that the perfect form of a person is idolized by the media I consume, but I know that in reality basically nobody I interact with is size 0 supermodel. Am I the asshole for finding women who are very well-toned more attractive than massively obese women? Edit. I used look after their body when I should have said well-toned. Larger people can still look after their body. I was giving an example of two people at opposite ends of the purely physical attractiveness scale for me. Am I the asshole? For wanting my extremely morning sick wife to clean the toilet after vomiting. My wife is 12 weeks pregnant and is having a really rough time with morning sickness. She'll typically throw up about 7 to 10 times a day despite being on the same medication they give chemo patients. To give some context, this pregnancy is her second. The first pregnancy was slightly better in terms of sickness, only 4 to 7 spews a day, but it lasted pretty much the full 9 months. She is an actual trooper and I'll forever be thankful for what she goes through to bring our beautiful children into this world. I've made a point of taking up extra slack, doing more chores around the house, more cooking and taking on additional childcare duties to give her a much needed break. Unfortunately for me, she has a terrible vomiting technique. When she has the need, she'll stand over the toilet, bend over ever so slightly and hit the eject button. The angle she bends down at can conveniently be demonstrated by a rough ASCII diagram, with most of the spews being projectile. Needless to say, we end up with an extremely messy toilet area. There is vomit everywhere. On the seat. Under the seat. On the floor around the toilet. The toilet she uses most of the time during the day is located in a small room, about 1.5 meters wide with the toilet in the center. As I type this, both walls on either side are showered in remnants of one particularly violent session. I do not understand the physics of this, all I know is that I am disgusted. I asked her to clean up after herself but she is resistant. She has always been quite lazy when it comes to cleaning up and is an untidy person, generally happy to live in what I deem to be pretty dirty conditions. From my perspective, this is next level filth and is unacceptable despite her current condition, particularly because it could be resolved with an improved technique. She says that she doesn't want to get closer to the toilet because it's gross, made more unpleasant because she has to do it so frequently throughout the day. Her position is that cleaning the toilet for her is the least I could do considering she is likely going to have to do this for the next 6 months. Reddit, you will determine who cleans our toilets post spews for the next 6 months. The stakes are high. Do not hesitate. Every second counts. Am I the asshole? For telling my girlfriend I will never allow her brother with Down syndrome to live with us? So a little backstory: we have been together for 2.5 years and there has been talk of marriage. She is 25, I am 28. So obviously we are talking about intense personal shit a lot, kids, family etc. We have good communication and rarely reach moments where we don't agree. Yesterday however she brought up her brother. Her brother was a late, unplanned kid and as the chance is higher at later ages he was born with Down syndrome. Now the likely scenario is, he will survive his parents. As such my girlfriend said she wanted to let him live with us once they died, or well if they die before he doesn't. I said absolutely not. I explained the caretaking involved, the problems involved etc. and that there is no way I would allow it, especially not once we have kids. We both want kids in a year or two. She flipped, saying I am selfish and so forth. Now I don't think I am selfish like at all, and I think she is basing her brother's care on the hour or two a week she spends with him and doesn't realize what 24-hour care would involve. So am I the asshole for not being okay with this? Edit 1. So I get a lot of comments concerning me being a dick for explaining shit to her and that she knows better than I. I figured I had made this clear in the post but apparently not. Her brother was a late child. As a result she only experienced him up close as a baby until he was about 3, before she moved out at 18. She did not spend much time with her family during college, and since we have been together she goes there about an hour a week with her parents there, which she has only done since the past year or so. Before that it was considerably less. So I know for a fact she hardly knows what it entails. Hell, I hardly know the full extent of what it entails myself. Edit 2. I am sorry if some people think I am behaving like a bit of a cold dick, but I am not great with emotional expression, especially not on the internet. Understand that I love my girlfriend and her family very much, including her brother. I can simply not see myself being a lifelong caretaker in my own home, and I certainly wouldn't abandon him or am forcing her to abandon anyone. I know the subject itself may be hard for people to begin with though. Edit 3. I have noticed some people assume I do not want shit to do with him nor have him near my future kids, etc. This is not the case. I am merely drawing the line at having him move in the future. I am not at all opposed to having him in my life, arranging care for him, etc. Am I the asshole? If I buy my girlfriend a cheap engagement ring? Guess it goes without saying that I am proposing, but I should mention my girlfriend doesn't know I will be. I picked out a ring I think she'll like. She never wears rings and isn't a massive fan of diamonds. So I found a really nice gold one with an emerald that's surrounded by small diamonds. She loves green and gold jewelry, and I spent a long time finding this one. It's a created emerald, which I think she'll prefer because she definitely wouldn't want any sort of conflict jewels. The ring is cheap. It was £300 and has actually gone down to £180. I mentioned this to my sister, who said I was a dick, essentially. Apparently, she'll be showing it to her friends, some of whom are engaged, who will know about rings and clarity and such. She says they will see that it's cheap and it will be embarrassing for her. I'm 90% sure my girlfriend doesn't know much about jewelry and clarity. I could probably get a similar ring that's more expensive. I certainly wouldn't know why I'm paying more. I don't think she would either. However, I am starting a new job soon and was going to buy a new TV for £250. I kind of realized I'm willing to spend more on myself for a random treat yourself present than an engagement ring, and I started understanding my sister's perspective a bit more. So whipped it? Edit. I just wanted to clarify that we have talked about marriage and are both on board. It's the proposal in terms of when and how I do it that would be a surprise. Edit 2. I really want to thank everyone for contributing and helping me out. I left to run some errands and returned to an overwhelming response full of additional advice which goes above and beyond. I really appreciate it. I am not going to be able to reply to everyone, but I am reading and upvoting. Edit 3. Thank you for the gold. I haven't found the comment it's on yet. I'm still trying to work through the comments. Am I the asshole? For allowing 2 teenagers to be spit on by a llama? I work at a petting zoo here, and this weekend we had 2 teenagers, around 16, boyfriend and girlfriend, who were antagonizing a llama. I told them you might want to cut that out. Llamas spit in self-defense. But they kind of laughed my warning off. Now, I knew that llama spit was a whole lot worse than they probably thought it was. But I decided not to tell them about that. I figured if they persisted, I'd trust the llama to teach them a lesson. The llama was being patient. At one point it gave them a warning spit, just saliva, and they went and laughed about it and brushed it off, and then kept going at it. Finally, the llama had enough, and unleashed its green, defensive spit that llamas are known for. It got the girl square in the face. She dropped to her knees and started retching, and eventually threw up. Her boyfriend was gagging and ran away, towards the building that I was in. To make things worse for them, I didn't even let them come in to wash up in the petting zoo's only bathroom. It was a slow day, so I just locked the doors. I told them I didn't want that smell inside, and made them leave the farm without washing up. Ida? The girl's parents called me the next day and yelled at me saying that was too harsh. Maybe it was. I knew that if you don't wash out llama spit right away, the smell sinks into your skin and becomes extremely hard to remove, but I wanted the lesson to sink in as well. Am I the asshole? For changing the wireless password when my roommates didn't give me their share of the bill, so we are 4 20-year-old girls in our first college apartment. As such, we are all broke college students and I do not have the extra money to constantly front them for everything. The wireless bill is on my card, the groceries go on my card, and literally everything else. One of them still owes me $50 from last week's grocery trip. The wireless bill is $80 for the first month and $49.99 every month after that. It is only $20, and they will not pay, but they have bought several packs of Julepods since we have moved in. So now we are here where I have texted them saying so I am getting pretty sick of constantly chasing people for money, so when you pay your part of the bill you can have the password. Sorry, but I am at my wit's end here. Please note this after asking for it once and gently reminding them twice, because these are my friends and I don't want to end our friendship over Wi-Fi issues. But am I being an asshole here? Edit. It has been 2 hours since I texted them and they have not responded but instead left, so I am unsure where this is going. It is only 2 of my roommates that will not pay. Thankfully one of my friends is responsible. Second edit, for those interested, they have finally responded to my text, 4 hours later, with a how TF were we supposed to know how much the bill was, and they want to have an apartment sit down, so I guess they want to turn this into a huge issue and this friendship may not be salvageable. Also, they still have not paid. Third edit, so roommate C was the one who asked to have an apartment meeting later, but instead she texted this in our group chat: if you don't see how what you did today was screwed up, then that's your first issue. I wanted to be civil at this, but you changed the password before letting us know the amounts due. I would rather iron this out now compared to later in the year when we have due dates/homework and suddenly won't be able to connect because someone's in a bad mood. If we're expected to pay for anything, then just ask us to pay, we always do. It's ridiculous being pushed around and wanting us to beg you to share the new passwords whenever you change them. We all invested 25% in the apartment and Wi-Fi, so we're all paying for exactly that. We all have the same amount of say in what happens here. If you gave us a monthly date, you want the $20 or whatever it is for Wi-Fi, then you'll have your money on that date. It doesn't have to be an issue if you don't make it one, but if we're living in Sydney's house with Sydney's Wi-Fi and Sydney's food, then I'll just get my own shit and you can pay 100% for you instead of a 4-way split. Copied and pasted this text message as is. So just to be clear, they never pay when asked. Technically roommate C still owes me $15 from last year, but I obviously have moved past that. They have never paid or helped setting up the wireless, so I am unsure what that is about, but from this I think it's becoming more and more clear that they are not true friends. Fourth edit, the two would like to do all groceries individually, which is absolutely fine with me, #BuySister. Fifth edit, roomie C and I had a talk and she said if I couldn't understand that what I did was fucked up, then I am just a shitty person. She then said I have ruined our friendship over $20. So I guess this did not have a happy ending. Roomie 1 is on my side, Roomie 2 agrees we were all confused, let's move, but Roomie 3 aka Roomie C will not just let us all accept some blame and move on. If anything else happens, I will let you know. Sixth edit, roommate C has informed me her overdraft fee will be billed to me, so I told her to leave me the hell alone, Venmoed her money back, and she tells me she doesn't want my money now. Roommate C is clearly a psycho. It makes much more sense now why she attracts such insane men. Clarification edit, I said we all made mistakes here because sometimes you just need to swallow your pride to preserve a friendship. It is only $20, but it's also about the principle. I am supposed to be your friend, to please have some respect for my finances as well. I told them more than once when the bill was due. They were well aware. Roommate 2 and I both just decided to move on and not dwell, because I never went into this with the intention of seriously pissing them off. I literally just need to grab their attention. Roommate 2 and I talked it out. Roommate 3/C refused to accept her part in the responsibility of paying on time. She refuses to take even still fully pay. They both do have access to the wireless. I am not a bitch. I legitimately just thought if they realized my joke was serious, about no money no Wi-Fi, they would just immediately be like, oops, here is $20. I never thought roommate C would blow this up. That is the main reason I even wondered if I was the asshole because of her reaction.